Watu wangu ni aje? Mazee the Kenyan American Home hapa hivi na welcome to my YouTube channel. Karibu mazee, na leo ndio ile siku watu wangu niliwaambia na waletea mtu awachanue. Watu wamekuwa wakiniambia mazee, watu wangu wakiniambia mazee, sisi tunataka sisi wenye hatukusoma sana na tunataka kwenda kufanya kazi, mtu wangu, tunataka kufanya ile njia inaweza tufungulia njia ya mayolo. Twende pale hivyo, tunachapa kazi za cruise ship jobs mazee, tunalipwa na dola mtu wangu, lakini ultimately inatufungulia njia ya kukuja America. Bana, so none other than mazee, nimewaleta umse udem ni ule msee mazee, atakama apigia ujanja mazee, tubonge you piga research ya maana mazee about cruise ship jobs. Akona information kibao, na nataka mazee by the end of this live mazee mkue well informed, uko unajua what to do in terms of kwenda kuapply cruise ship jobs. Sawa. So watu wangu, drum roll, welcome none other than Travel Life with Thuo mazee. Ni aje mshi?
Sana.
Karibu bana, karibu on this good side of life.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Karibu mazee. Watu wamekuwa kinini, watu waangalia kukuja US. Unajua kuna njia mingi sana, mwambiaga watu kuna njia mingi sana za kukuja US. But kuna zile njia ngumu, kuna zile njia slightly ni rahisi, alafu mazee kuna zile njia ni impossible kukuja. Unajua ukicheki stories za visa za US, kuna zile visa zinachukua time sana kukam. Kuna zile visa mazee zini expensive sana, na story ya kukuja kazi juu watu shinda wakiniuliza mazee, so ni organize kuje job US. Lakini sasa ukiangalia work visa mingi za US zinachukua time kibao, but pia ni very expensive. But kuna nje ya watu wengi uaga waangalii sana, na nje ya kukuja na C1D visa ya cruise ship jobs. So lakini before tuingie kwa business, nataka ujintroduce kwa watu wangu mazee, uambie Travel with Thuo ni nani?
Okay, so naweza mix nini Kizungu na Kiswahili?
Yeah. Tunaweza fanya zote.
Okay, sawa. So my name is Pauline Wanjiru Thuo. That's my official name. So Travel with Thuo is the name that I call myself on social media. I'm a teacher by profession. So mimi ni mwalimu, and I've taught in Thailand for the longest time. Yes, and so late last year, I decided to start sharing information, because I used to get people asking me, like, I want to travel abroad, I don't know how to go about it. And then there was now the cruise ship job, which people didn't know much about, and I decided to have it as a niche, to have it like something that I'll be talking about, something that I will research and share this information with people, because I came to realize that it's the easiest way for you to go to the US and live comfortably. When I mean live comfortably, is because you're there, you have your work permit, you're getting paid, like you don't have to worry about immigration or anything else. And then it's cheap to travel to the US as a seafarer, or going there to work as, to work in a cruise ship. Okay. So Mimi, I started sharing information, people started becoming interested. I went out my way to start even visiting those schools that are offering those courses, and that's how I came to be like Travel with Thuo. So most people know me as someone who give information about cruise job, but again, I'm a teacher. Mimi ni teacher.
Yeah. So ulianza, wait, did you work as a teacher, or did you just go straight away? Is it like you finished school and looked for work and there was no work and then decided to look for other ways za nini
No,
za?
no, no, no. My story is like very long.
Okay.
So I started. Actually, I've been to more than 30 countries to start with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've traveled, but I've worked only in 3 countries, if I might say. So the
Okay.
rest were like maybe me traveling, me going for visa ride, me being there because of some maybe situation. It's not necessarily like traveling. I went there for other reasons.
Okay.
But so I left Kenya back in 2013. That
Okay.
was the first time I left Kenya, and I went to Turkey. I stayed there for 2.5 years. I
Okay.
came back home, and I could not find like jobs. Okay, and when you leave Kenya, when you come back, it's really difficult. It's never the same. People will not view you as the same person that you were
Wait,
when you were there.
that's actually a very good, that's a very good point that you're talking about.
Mhm,
Because every time someone leaves the country, you leave Africa, you leave Kenya, wherever you are, and you
mhm,
go abroad,
mhm.
there's always that perception, and people even tell you when you leave the country, people almost will tell you don't come back because yeah, why are you coming back here?
Uh-huh.
Why don't you stay there? Because people always say, hey, stay over there. And so when you leave the country and come back, there's always that perception. People are
Yeah,
like,
that huwezi pata mtu wa kusaidia. It's really difficult because sometimes you come back when you're broke because the first time you leave Kenya, you don't think about saving. All you think is impressing people. Like you want people to know that you're already abroad. So
mhm,
those are the kind of mistakes I made. Not really mistake because for me, most of the cash that I was able to get, I was using it on my family. Like I wanted them to have a comfortable life. I never thought that there's life after maybe these 3 years that I will be here, or there's life after this, or I need to do something. So when I came back to Kenya, I stayed in Kenya for a whole year looking for a job. Actually, mimi nilifanya kazi Kamakis as mse wa kuserve nyama na nini. I worked there for 6 months.
wait. Na
After
umetoka,
nimerudi kutoka majuu. Yes, after nimetoka
so umetoka majuu,
Uh-huh.
umerudi Kenya, umeanza kufanya kazi Kamakis.
Yes,
Wait, so
it's
mi najaribu kuimagine, like tell us the mental space, kwa sababu sijui, unajua saa ingine watu wanga kunajua kuna ile watu watakuongea, obviously watu watasemaga
yeah, of
huyu ni
course.
ule msee, this is the
Mhm.
person aliacha majuu akarudi Kenya.
Uh-huh.
Like what was going on in your mind that time?
Okay.
Umetoka alafu sasa umerudi ule msee ulikuwa umeambia uko majuu ndio huyo mtu una serve sasa.
Yes, mimi by the way venye nilirudi, unajua I tried to look for a job, I could not get one, and I really wanted to stay by myself, like I needed my own space. So what I did, nilitokanga kwetu, I went and rented a house, is it not 1 bedroom, inaitangwa single room. Yes, I rented a single room, so I was staying there. I was paying around 3,600 by then. That was late 2015.
Okay.
Okay. So nimerudi, nimerent. I was working there. People, okay, I had a phone. We normally buy gadgets. That's the problem. Like I had a phone. I had a very good phone. So watu walikuwa wananiuliza umetoa wapi simu? Okay, nilikuwa majuu. But then watashindwa, kwa nini uko hapa? Why? What are you doing here? Umekaa
Yeah.
majuu. But I didn't have an option. So I stayed there. Alafu after sometimes nikavutangwa kazi. And the worst part,
Kamakis.
yes, nimevutwa kazi, sina
Guy.
job, and then
Okay.
this is really bad. Juu nakumbukanga nyumba yenye nilikuwa naishi, nilishindangwa kulipa and I had to run away at night. Nilikaa nyumba hadi half month, nikaona sasa sitaweza kulipa na siku zimeisha. I called someone mwenye it was a guy who used to he was a tout hiyo
Okay.
Kamakis bypass. So nilikuwa nimejuana na yeye juu I used to kupanda matatu maybe nampata. So that's how I got to know about the guy. So one day nikamwambia, kesho nataka ukuje mapema, you come and help me get these stuff because it was only my bed and
Okay.
my suitcase and a few like utensils, kitchen stuff. So mimi nilipoteanga hiyo usiku. By then nitarudi kwa huyo madhe nikamlipe pesa zake. So after I left there, I went back home. Actually, I went to my mom. Na nikiwa sasa home, I was becoming stressed. Na hii ndio kitu yenye napatanga watu wengi. The moment
Depression.
umetoka Kenya, umeenda nje alafu ukarudi and you don't have any plan, like you haven't planned when you're coming back, it becomes really bad because again, hakuna mtu anakuview the same way. Kila mtu anafikiria uko na pesa, kila mtu anafikiria you're not supposed to be begging or you're not supposed to be going through programs. You see? So this time mimi nikarudi kwetu, but in that process mtu mwingine akaniambia, because you're a teacher, they're teaching jobs in Thailand. Would you be interested to go and teach in Thailand? I was like, yes. But now the thing was, you have to pay everything for yourself because in Thailand hakuna agent. Okay? Hauwezi pelekwa na agent. Ukipelekwa na agent, that is you. Because there you go, you start looking for a job. Okay? So mimi niliambiwa hivyo, I didn't have cash. But my mom used to have a kaploti. Akasema hii ploti, because I had already helped her. Like nilikuwa nimemjengea nyumba, most of my cash nilikuwa nimetumia on them. Akasema hii ploti nitaiuza for you to get money to pay for your ticket and at least get the visa and all that stuff. And because it was quick, you know, shamba huwezi uza leo. Lazima utakuwa kununua. And we really needed that cash. So my dad akapata mtu mwingine akamwambia naweza walipa kidogo, like I can give you 50,000. Actually, that plot was supposed to be sold at 700K, but we sold it at 200K because we needed money.
You need the money to be able to.
Yeah, so we sold the land, tukapewa 50K za kwanza, agent akachukua. Kumbe, now you see, visa ya Thailand in 4,000, but I paid 50,000 because I didn't have information. That's another reason why I share information, because these are things that we don't like researching ama tutakangi kujua. Sisi tu tunafanya mambo blindly. So my first 50K imeenda hivyo.
So uligongwa, ngoja, mimi ni accountant, uligongwa 46,000.
Yes. Hata tuita 40,000, tuseme 6,000 alitumia kutengeneza the ticket, itinerary, hizo vitu zinaitisha huko. Okay? Alichukua 40,000, but I have no problem with that. Anyway, I didn't know anything. So the second thing ni nitafute transport. You know, mimi I went to Thailand, naambianga watu budget yangu ilikuwa ya 100K. Because after that 50,000, tukapewa 50K zingine. So this 50K, I had to find a one-way ticket ya 50,000 with a dummy return ticket. Because again, I was going on a tourist visa. I didn't have a work visa. So you know, with a tourist visa, you need to have a return ticket. But then I didn't have. So bahati mzuri, I got an agent, akanisaidia nikapata ticket ya 50,000. So I didn't have any other cash in front and back, mbele na nyuma, if that's what I was thinking.
So you put your faith in, I'm going to Thailand, and
yes.
I hope I'll be set over there because I don't have anything. Sina any.
Yes, but again, I had a friend who we was supposed to travel with. Yeah, alikuwa mzuri juu alikuwa ametoka sijui Saudi, and she had some cash. So I was depending on her on everything. So I knew tukienda na yeye, before hizi pesa zimebaki na huyu tumeuzia shamba anitumie, I'll be using her money. And that's what happened. So the day comes, mimi nimeenda airport, and another thing, unajua hii yellow fever card. You guys should be vaccinated. Usitake kununua. Because mimi I bought. Mimi nilinunua hizi zinanunuliwangwa. Only to reach at the airport, nikapewa yellow fever. You know, I didn't have any information. It's not like now we have TikTok and you can research, you can ask. So mimi nilibuy kitabu, nikapewa kitabu bila jina, bila anything. So when I reached at the airport, nasema wacha niandike jina zangu, alafu nikajiambia ndio wajue mimi nimevaccinatiwa, vaccination yangu ni strong, wacha niseme nilivaccinatiwa 2 days ago. Nikaandika hivi.
Yellow fever.
Yes, and you know, yes, and you know it's supposed to be back 10 days after vaccination. So mimi nimeingia huko ndani, you remember I didn't have money. I had 150 Kenya shillings only on my pocket. Sina pocket money, naenda Thailand, I'm not going to anyone, but I had my friend Jerry who I knew, like tutaenda na yeye atakuwa akinisort meanwhile. So me, I reach at the airport, I get nikapatana na a very nice lady at the immigration, hapo kwa check-in. Aka check-in kila kitu, so venye alinitisha document, because it's a requirement before you leave Kenya, uonyesha na hiyo yellow fever card, because you cannot be allowed to enter Thailand with no yellow fever card.
Okay.
So when I got there, she told me, Pauline, when were you vaccinated? Nikamwambia 2 days ago. Akaniambia, even if I allow you to live here, you will not be allowed to enter Thailand. So I want you to go back to the hospital. Ukue hii yellow fever card yako ikuwe backdated. Mimi I didn't have cash. Namuuliza wanalipa pesa ngapi? 250. Nini $25.
So huyo ni airport, that's the airport agent telling you.
Yes.
Okay.
So mimi kutoka nje uzuri nikapatana na Nigeria yako amecheck. Nikamuuliza hebu nisaidie na 25, hii nini yangu iko na shida. She was like, mi nasemanga that is one person mwenye alinisaidia all my way to Thailand. Akanipatia, and that is the only cash she had, like in $5. The rest alikuwa amebeba $100. Mi kukimbia huko, huyo akaniuliza umedungwa, nikamwambia hapana, nilikuwa nimedanganyana. Akaniambia so now I will vaccinate you and then backdate it for you. Compare $25, ananiambia you're supposed to pay $30 because of exchange rate. Kamwambia mimi sina $5, lakini tuma janita mmoja we go to the huko ndani and then I will ask my friend for $5 nitampatia. Wewe kurudi Nigeria ananiambia sina $5. I remember telling that janitor, enda uambie huyo daktari ile siku nye nitarudi I'll give her the $5. And mimi venye tu niliingia kwa ndege hata I started crying because I knew sasa hapa ningeachwa ticket unaona situation yangu, but after all nikafika Thailand and hiyo ni story kubwa sana, like I cannot tell all that story here. That's then after all I came back home, and story inaendelea tu and I'm here now.
So you were coming back, so you've
no
but did you teach in Turkey or
no? I was studying.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wait, what did you study in Turkey?
Teaching English literature.
Okay. And then came back home, and then in Thailand you went to teach.
Yes.
English, Ama?
English, yes. In Thailand, you can go there to teach English because they need teachers to teach English. Yes.
Okay.
Listening and speaking. Yes.
How's like what would you tell people about Thailand if you know?
Thailand is a good country, really nice country, but you need to plan yourself. Like if you decide to go there, you should know when the schools open. Like school year starts in May. So if you want to go looking for a job, May is the best month to go to Thailand or with your tourist visa. Okay, the tourist visa is 3 months. So you have 3 months to look for a job. Some provinces can change your visa while still in the country. Some provinces will require you to either go back to your country or exit to Malaysia. In my case, when I was there, I had to go to Malaysia twice for visa because, I had gone with my tourist visa and I was never told something like that. I thought when I go with my tourist visa, everything will be done there. So that was another story when I got there and I discovered like it's either I go back home or I'll have to go to Malaysia to get a new visa. And yes, the Thai people are good people. I gave birth there. I had a family there. So I can say it's a good country.
Okay, so if someone is...
If you're a young teacher who wants to go out there and teach, Thailand should your number one country to go to because again they provide you with work permit, teacher's license, and you live just a normal life like any other person. Okay,
cool. And then Thailand came back. Did you come back home after you were done in Thailand?
Okay, for me, I came back during COVID time. It was not a planned comeback. It's only that I came back on 8th and COVID got in Kenya on 10 March.
Okay.
So, and that's how the Thailand thing stopped.
Okay. Because I know like people are asking, and I know what we came to talk about today, but I think it's good to build up on these things because when people think about kufanya kazi outside your country, people think US, Canada, UK. But they never really think about that there is other options because obviously ukiongea mambo ya Gulf kuna watu wako na horror stories za Gulf. Kuna story mingi sana za Gulf, but watu hawajuangi kuna other options kama Thailand iko available. So I think what are some of the
It's a good country to grow in because I can say when I was there like teaching, I got opportunity to travel. Actually, when I was in Thailand, that's when I traveled because you see, like when the school closed, the school closes once a year. Okay. So it's not like in Kenya we have 3 terms. In Thailand, it's only one. Like there's a break, 3 weeks break in September.
Okay.
But now from May, it's May to next year, February. Then you close from February, March, April, and then start again in May. So you have 3 months that you're getting paid depending on the school. Some school pay during those holidays, some don't pay. But if you go in a school that pays you, you see within those 3 months you can do a lot of things. And then there's freedom, because you see in the US or in those Western country, you work for long hours. You see, like you need to work for you to survive. You need to work extra jobs. But now in Thailand, you work your normal 8 hours a day, and then the rest you have either to do your tuition, either to do your other things that, like me, I used to do hair. So I used to go to school on weekends. I can braid, I can travel, I can do a lot of stuff. Like you have time for yourself. And it's also a good starting point. You see, like when you have a Thai work permit and you're working there legally, it's easy for you to go to Europe. It's easy for you to get a Canadian visa. It's easy for you to go to the UK because you have all the documents with you. They know you're working there. So even if you tell them you're going to UK to visit, they're just going to ask a letter from your school, and they have, obviously you have a bank statement. You know, back in our countries, because most of us don't have bank payment statement because of even the mode of payment.
Yeah.
You know, you might be working, but the mode of payment is a bit complicated, and people don't put the banking thing very serious, you know. So, but in Thailand, all your money is coming through the bank, so they can see if they ask for your bank statement, you have ties, you have your job, so you have ties. And yes, it's easy for you like to go and come back, or to go and go, depending on what you want to do. So it's a good country generally.
And I think you're bringing out a very good point that I hope people are listening. I know people always want to use the direct route, but you know if you went to school, even if some of us have never used vectors is something that we learned in school. We learned that, you know, you can use very different routes to get to the same place. Sometimes it doesn't mean you have to, you know, if you've tried coming directly to the US, na unanyimwa. That doesn't mean that's the only route. You can use other routes to be able to come back to the US.
Yeah, and you have to be patient, because that is something that we all are lacking. Like you don't want to be patient, you don't want to go through a certain path. And you see, like when you're traveling, for example, I see people saying like, I want to go to Canada, but if you ask them, this person has never even left Kenya to Uganda, to Tanzania. You see, it's a must to have a travel history, because that's the first thing they'll ask you, where have you been? Because there's no way you're going to take a tourist visa to the US, yet you have never even left for Uganda. How comes you're going to the US as a tourist, yet hata hujaenda your neighboring country?
Hiyo ni point by the way. Watu wa underline hiyo point by the way. Hii ndio imekuwa trend ya watu wengi wameenda embassy, watakwambia ni one of the things imekuwa ukifanya watu wanyimwe visa is because you go there and everything is good. The first thing they do is they look at your passport, your travel history, and you have never left your country. And the first place you want to go to is US.
Yeah, it's a red flag, obviously.
You're only red flag. Yeah. Kwa nini? Go to your neighbor. Go to other places ndio tuone you have a travel history. By the way, na hiyo ndio imekuwa one of the ukiulizwa hiyo useme no, I have not traveled elsewhere.
What I always tell people, you see, anything that you want, you have to work for it. So you traveling, you're using money, but you have a goal. Like I'm traveling to Uganda, I'm going to use 30,000 Kenya shillings for the days I'm going to be there, but I'm using them for my future. I know, like I always tell people, if you plan to go somewhere, plan 2 years or 1 year prior. Don't wake up tomorrow and say, I want to go. Plan a whole year. Because if you don't have a bank statement, you start working on it. If you don't have a travel history, you start working on it. And 1 year is very short. Squeezing mwaka inaisha haraka. 2 years is inaisha haraka. And that is enough for you to be able to prepare everything, and then when you go to ask for a visa, it will be easier for you. And that is very hard. Mtu akikuuliza visa yako ya Canada ulipa, okay, kuna wenye wana applyingi mara ya kwanza na wanapata.
Yeah.
Unapata huyo mtu, maybe huyo mtu, he or she, they're coming from a very well family where bank statement is not a problem. They have assets, they have social ties, they have everything. Lakini kama wewe ni mtu kama mimi, someone who is just trying to find their way out, you have to be strategic. You have to be very smart. Wewe tembea watu washindwe wewe ni nini. Me, I always tell people, when I used to go to Malaysia or any other country, me wanapiga picha. I can take photos. You think maybe I'm living in a very good hotel. No, I eat in vibanda. I sleep in just normal hotels. Hizi zenye zinaitangwa aje, backpackers. Hizi zenye mnalala kama bed.
Hizo backpackers, yeah.
Because even those white people they all normally do that. When you travel sana, they don't go living in those posh hotels. Hizo ni time yenye umepata pesa zako kabisa, you want to go and relax. That's when you can go and book a 5-star hotel. But if you're working on your traveling history, wewe enda Tanzania, tafuta tu 500, lala, nani atajua, kesho enda upige picha, post, watishe huko social media, but
travel history.
Yes.
Yeah, itakuwa actually, unajua umesema hivyo by the way, sijui kama watu mimi ningekuwa mimi usemaga, if I was in Kenya right now, I think with the information that I know, there's no way I'm not getting a visa to come to the US. You know why? Because of some, like right now, somebody should be thinking about 2026.
Exactly.
World Cup inakuja. Yeah? This is the time you go to Thailand, unaona, unafanya kazi, but unaenda pale hivyo ulienda Thailand ukaenda kuona games. Unaona, unaona a soccer game. Unaenda pale hivyo Dubai, unaona, so unaenda Thailand, unafanya kazi, hata hiyo kazi ya kuteach, you get some money, at least your pesa, that money helps you fund some of the traveling. And I think it's in that, because then they'll see, okay, this person, if ukienda pale kwa embassy uambie watu juu World Cup inakam na itakuwa US na Canada.
Yeah, someone told me that.
World Cup inakuja itakuwa US na Canada. Lakini watu saa ingine sisi kwa nini waga wako na reminded hivi? Yaani mtu ana force hiyo kitu. Wanakuambiaga paka mate. Usiforce hiyo kitu sana. Hiyo ni inside joke, watashika 1962. As in, fanya nini? Kama ukijaribu usiforce kitu. Na hiyo ndio kitu, that's the thing.
And don't work hard, work smartly. Juu saizi kama unataka kwenda Canada hiyo World Cup, this is the time to start preparing. Anza kutembea. Hata shikaneni mkiwa ka group. Anzeni kitu. Anzeni kitu. I'm just telling you, anzeni kitu muweze kutembea mkiwa group. Anzeni create a social media account. Weka huko. Ni hata ile siku nye mtaenda msema mnaenda as a group. Wanaona watu wamekuwa.
We're traveling buddies.
Yes.
Because by the way, unajua ukienda pale hivyo useme, okay, we travel as a group. Na unajua, the good thing about traveling as a group ni kwa sababu kama watu wanga hawakei, by the way, you can go una nini ya hotel moja, hata ukiendaga, if you go to a hotel, by the way, waitisha, wanakuanga na tu extra beds wanaweza kupatia uweke kwa room. Mnaenda watu kama 4 5, mnasaidiana kwa sababu hoteli moja kila mtu akilipa hotel kama ni 50, kila mtu akilipa 10, at least kila mtu atakuwa amelipa 10, lakini mtakuwa mmelala mahali. Zinaitwa couchsurfing. Couchsurfing is actually so much fun. Hizo backpacking, unaenda tu na ka backpack kako, unaenda ukitravel from one place to the next. But sasa mkiwa in a group inakuwa even cheaper, but inawasaidia nyinyi wote pamoja.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that people should be looking into. And unajaribu kufikiria hivyo, because when you wait until the last minute 2025 ndio unaenda kuomba visa ya kwenda Canada ama US World Cup, you will not get it. You see? Yeah. So the earlier the better you start planning on something, and tukue na trust. Have a friend. If you cannot have friends that unaweza pigia saizi, when I say unaweza pigia, umetisha kitu akupatie, then you don't have friends. Yeah. Find those people that you're in the same tribe. And when I say same tribe, I mean those people who you have something in common. Those are the people you work with.
Very
No,
true. Very
at the
true.
end of
Very
the
true.
day,
Yeah. Yeah.
utajipata in a place where people will be asking, how do you make things happen? No, you just do something. Me, I'm not rich and I travel a lot. Na sisi niko na pesa, but I know what I do.
Yep.
I
Yep.
plan prior, I travel on a budget. When I go out there, I eat what I can afford. But picha hakuna mtu ananiuliza. Hata nikienda nisimame kwa Hilton Hotel nikiwa Malaysia na nipigwe picha hapo nikiwa nje, who will know I didn't sleep there? Hata kama
Hakuna
Chinatown.
hakuna mtu atajua, by the way. Hakuna mtu atajua.
So those are
Eh,
some of the ways that you can use to make your travel life easier. Kama
ah,
and then tusikue, don't be that person who leo unasikia kunaendwa Canada unakimbia. Sit down, sema huku ndio unataka kwenda. Now work on that country. Know what is needed there. But ukienda hivi utaishi kwenda na huku, unasikia watu wanapelekwa Canada unakimbia. Unasikia watu wanaenda Germany unakimbia. At the end of the day you'll find yourself in a circle. But if you sit down and say Canada is my dream country, fine.
how do I? Yep.
Unaona, anything is possible. Now this is my dream country. Enda kwa canada.ca. Angalia requirements. Angalia what you need to get a certain visa. Note them down. Start ticking. Ni bank statement iko nayo? No, let me start working on my bank statement. Unatik. Ni travel history sina? You start working on your history. By the end of the year, you'll find you have everything. And you will not have to use a lot of money because you pay someone else to do the donkey work because maybe hauna papers ama hauna those things. But these are things that you can get.
Yep.
You see, like bank statement inakuanga issue kwa kila mtu. But ongea na watu. Watu wakuwa wanaweka pesa kwa hiyo akaunti yako. Wacha mtu akuwe anakusaidia ama wewe mwenyewe, just try something. At least hata kama utaongeza kitu kwa akaunti yako, have something, especially when it comes to travel history. Bank statement, those are things that you're supposed to have them by yourself, especially kama hauna kakitu.
Very true. Very true.
Unajua ni nini unahitaji and then go ahead and prepare.
Cool. So there's one thing, by the way, tukikuja mupenda ni mzuri sangine before we land the plane tunatengeneza background ndio at least watu wajue where you're coming from. I think one of the things that I like and I find in a lot of people, huwezi jua kila mahali, huwezi jua kila visa, huwezi jua kila country, and so it's always I always appreciate people who you take a niche and you focus on it, you do as much research as possible, alafu you are educated in that area, unakuja kupatia watu information. Hiyo ndio kitu napenda, by the way. Napenda sana juu yako juu hiyo story at you take the time ku research history alafu nakamkupatia watu hii information. Tukiingia kwa cruise ship, kwa sababu najua wase wote wako hapa wamekuja juu ya cruise ship jobs. As in how did you get here? Hii kitu ulijuaje hii story? Just pia najua there's so many people here who don't even know that this option is available for people.
Okay, so I knew about cruise ship back in 2015.
Okay.
And I got it from a friend mwenye alikuwa ameenda na yeye actually alikuwa amepata hiyo job akiwa Saudi. Aliapplying hiyo job akiwa Saudi akachukuliwa and then he left from Saudi to the US. But by then I didn't pay so much attention into it because I wasn't interested. Nilikuwa tu nasikia ni stories za housekeeping, hospitality. I didn't know if you're a teacher you can still work in a cruise ship. I didn't know if you're an engineer you can work in a cruise ship. I didn't know if you're a doctor you can still work in a cruise ship. I didn't know if you're a plumber, if you're a carpenter, if you're a mason, you can still work in a cruise ship. Like cruise ship has everything. It's another world. It's another Kenya somewhere in the sea. So they need all kind of people. Okay. But now for me, I used to think it's all about hospitality because the person who had joined the cruise was working in the kitchen. He was a chef. But I didn't pay much attention into it until last year when a friend of mine told me, can I come to your live? Because there's something I want to share. You see the way you meet people here on TikTok. By then, I even didn't have even 2,000 followers on TikTok. And you see if you've gone through my TikTok account, I cannot dance. okay, I don't do those entertaining stuff. So what I was focused in, nilikuwa nataka, I knew very well all I needed is to, I needed an educational channel. Okay, even on YouTube, I wanted somewhere I can share information and help people in general. So akaniambia, I want you to invite me. Kuna kitu nataka kushare about cruise ship jobs. Nikamwambia sawa. So we had a date and we went live on TikTok. So when we went live on TikTok, at that moment, I felt like this is what most people normally ask me, ati kama umefanya kazi. Mimi sijaifanya kazi kwa cruise ship, by the way. I have never worked in a cruise ship. So your time I was so interested and I was like, this is a good way of like kutoka Kenya. People are struggling. And the good thing, unaangalia education background, they just need you to be a high school graduate, of which our people wengi wameenda high school. Na kama haujaenda high school, wewe umeenda high school in a way, if you know what I mean. So I was like, this is the best thing like for our people, given that hata hawaulizi mambo nyingi. They just need you to be a high school graduate. You see, with other countries, when you're going to work somewhere else, they focus on, oh, you need to be, unafaa kuwa na bachelor's, I don't know, you need to have this, you need to have that. So after that session, I felt like this is something that I want to know more about, and I started doing my research. Okay, so I started bringing people in who had worked in a cruise ship. And I started like reaching out to schools like Muranga. I started reaching out to Bandari, kusikia venye. Like I needed to get all information about those cruise jobs and everything. And that's how I started giving out information. So with time, I got ikafika ni mahali mimi nakaa mtu. Like now, if you ask me anything about cruise, najua kila kitu. Like I know everything because I've taken my time to work on it, and it's like Anisha, as I've told you, I decided to focus. I that I'm talking Canada. I normally tell them I don't talk about that.
Yeah.
So wait,
let me pull you back. Umesema very important point for the people taking notes. Umesema for cruise ship jobs, the minimum requirement is a high school degree.
You just be a high school graduate. Okay. Yes, that's the minimum requirement.
Okay. Endelea. That's I wanted to point that out for the people who are taking notes.
Yeah, so with time, nikaanzaga watu wakaanza kuuliza. You see, obviously on TikTok, when you talk about something, what people do is let a link. How can we go about it? And by then, I decided to start a YouTube channel to do tutorials. Because again, our people, our stress. So if I can make your work easier, and in a way get her, nijisaidie au tusaidiane, then I decided to create a YouTube channel. And I remember nikaambia watu, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And TikTok family really did well for me, because within the first 6 months mimi nilikuwa nishakuwa monetized. So they really supported me, and I really worked hard kutafuta. I used to do tutorials, like nafanya tutorial on how to apply for a certain job, what you need to do in a post, and then people go watch and then apply. And then within 2 months, watu washaanza kupata job. And I was like, now, if this is bringing results, why not focus on it? No, another thing about cruise job, you don't have to have a lot of money, because first of all, flight ticket is taken care of.
By the cruise. So ile company imekuandika, they take care of the
your ticket. Okay. So at least there, kwenda US, you'll have to go, like hautalipa ticket. Secondly, when it comes to your visa, the C1D visa, I researched about the C1D visa. I knew about the C1 because mimi nilikuwa na C1. There's a time I was going to Jamaica, so I used to have a C1. I didn't know about the C1.
Na wacha nini? Unajua sangine wewe unajua hizi vitu na kuna watu. Na mimi napendaga kueducate watu nisiasimu wanajua. Mtu ajui C1D by the way, na ndio nataka justaki wapitwe na hizi vitu by the way. So C1 ni transit visa.
Yes.
So ukitaka
endelea.
Haya, C1 ni transit visa. So waambie uli need C1 kwa nini?
Okay, for example, as Kenyans, we don't need a visa to go to Jamaica. Okay. But again, there's no direct flight yenye itakutoa Kenya ikupeleka hadi Jamaica. Okay, so in one way or another, you have to either to pass through UK or to pass through US. Like you have to kuingia US. Na US si kama Dubai. Like when you're going to Thailand, you can have a transit to Dubai na hakuna mtu atakuitisha visa. Wewe utaenda ukae airport. With US hata kukaa airport you need a visa.
Umesema US sio nini? Si US si Gikomba ati utapita tu hivyo ukiendaga.
Yes. Huwezi enda uko umeingia ni kama ni kwenyu ati unapita. So for you to go to kuingia US hata kukaa kwa airport juu hiyo C1 hata huwezi toka. C1 ndio unaweza toka. But C1 wewe ni wewe ukae uko airport uko umengojea your next flight hata kama ni 1 hour, hata kama ni 30 minutes, hata kama unaingia tu hivyo ku umekimbia kwa the next gate, you will need that C1. Unaona, but as in Manangwi, as long as you have all the requirements for where you're going, you still get it. Unaona, na visa haikuwa ni issue. Ni venye sasa kulikuanga na ile, unajua watu before walikuwa na ile uoga ati kuna kuanga hivi kwenda US sijui kupata visa, it's really hard. But you see, when you have everything, I don't see anything hard, because anything they ask you, you have, provide this, okay, chukua hii, and then they'll have no reason to deny you the visa. So for you to transit through the US, you will have to acquire the C1. Na you uta-apply kama any other visa.
Alafu
okay,
did you umesema you went to where ulienda Jamaica?
Yeah.
As in unafanya nini ukitaka kuapply? That's the other question people ask. Okay, because no umeleta another very important point. Unajua watu wanakuanga wamedharau sana passport yetu.
Yeah.
Watu dharau passport yetu, wanadhani passport yetu haiwezi kufanyia kitu. But passport yetu inaweza kupeleka some places that you don't need a visa. Na hiyo ni kitu najua it's very news to a lot of people.
Yeah, so many places in the US that you can go with no visa. Sijua mandaita US, but in America, hizo sites za America countries you can go. Like kwenye Hana ametoka, we don't need a visa to go there. So it's just the normal online application. Ukienda tu kwa website, you see your section ya C1. They'll ask you everything. Utaangalia what they need from you, and then you'll have to provide your itinerary, your ticket, kwenye utaishi Jamaica, whatever, or the country that you're going to, you'll have to provide all that. And then ukishapeana hizo, they don't take much. It's like C1 when you apply leo kama Kenya, within 2 to 3 days ushaitiwa visa yako. Ushaambiwa uende uchukue. Taking long. And that is one of the things that makes me feel like US is the easiest country to get a visa other than Canada, because uko uwekwi, it's either you know your fate that day, ni uende wangu unapewa ama haupewi.
Ni pale wanakuambia pale hivyo.
Unangojea sijui approviwe sijui nini, you can even wait a year. But with the US, as long as you book an appointment and you get, you know very well hiyo siku kama unapewa utapewa, kama haupewi you will still know that you're not getting the visa. You see? But when you get that to C1, how you just go, na unaweza rudishwa. By the way, kuna
ulienda embassy ama lazima
uende embassy? Just the normal visa. Yes, ama C1
every visa. By the way, na ni hivyo wale watu wanagongwa na ma agents. The only time you don't go to the embassy ni kama unafanya hizi za visa renewals. Unaona kama the new rule walileta ile ya uko na visa ili expire less than 4 years ago. Hiyo ndio wanakuambia wanaweza waive interview. But other than that, usiaidanganywa na mtu ati atakupatia visa bila wewe kuenda embassy. Lazima uende embassy ndio upewe visa.
Yeah, so now we were talking about the C1. I hope people may understand what the C1 means.
C1,
and kuna mtu niambia nataka C1, nikamwambia hiyo C1 hata ukipata haitakusaidia. Okay, so hiyo ni yako tu, but inaweza kusaidia in a way, because in future if you go and come back in future utaka kuchukua visa, that stamp is very important. Inakuwa hata hiyo C1D visa wenye wanaenda US kama Seafarers, you're doing a good job. Wewe enda ufanye kazi yako for those 5 years if you can. After ile siku utahitaji kupata, because then you're creating your travel history, wanaona huyu ni mtu mwaminifu, you're going and coming back. So even if you need a certain kind of visa and you see the C1D ningi hapo kidogo, you can stay in the US on land for 29 days. Umekubalishwa kukaa for 29 days on land.
Rudia hiyo point kwa sababu ni point nono sana. So C1 hauwezi toka. C1 unaonea America view sasa. Ile ni America. Unaweza chukua picha useme ukiwa hapo nini JFK, New York. Useme niko JFK, lakini mchanga ya US hautakanyaga ukiwa na C1.
But it's good because people will see, and then you will scare your village witches. You will confuse them. You will confuse them. That's what is happening.